Although the third generator of the Norochole power plant, which has a capacity of 270 megawatts, was connected back to the national grid, the generator suffered another breakdown this morning. The Kalanithissa Sojits power plant, which has a capacity of 130 megawatts, has been removed from the grid as well due to maintenance purposes. The barge-mounted power plant in Colombo and the Sapugaskanda power station are also unable to generate power due to the lack of fuel. These two power plants combined generate 104 megawatts. Accordingly, the power plants that are not operating at present are capable of generating a total of 484 megawatts. Against such a backdrop, the Ceylon Electricity Board has predicted that the total demand for power tonight would be around 2,750 megawatts.
What we proposed to the Ceylon Electricity Board was to inform these large-scale electricity consumers to use their standby generators from 6 to 9 today. We also asked the consumers to limit the consumption of power tonight. If not, the CEB will have to cut power for 10, 15 and 30 minutes on a divisional level to strike a balance in the system.
However, some areas in Wattala and its coastal line in which power is supplied by the Lanka Electricity Company expected a power outage from 2:30 to 3:30 this afternoon. A spokesperson at the Public Utilities Commission said that the Commission had not granted permission for that. There was a shortage of 200 megawatts of power to the national grid last month due to the reduction of the water levels in the reservoirs in close proximity to certain power plants in the country. On top of the constant breakdowns of the thermal power plants, the other challenge Sri Lanka had to face was the severe lack of fuel in the country. Thereafter, the President ordered the Treasury last week to pay the 93 billion rupees the CEB owes the CPC to maintain an uninterrupted power supply in the country. However, that issue remains unresolved even as of now. Against this backdrop, the Minister of Power made a request from the Cabinet yesterday to make an emergency purchase of power from 3 private power plants for 3 years. These 3 power plants in question, which stirred controversy in the past, generate a total of 170 megawatts of power. 2 of these power plants are operated by furnace oil. The agreement that was reached between the Ceylon Electricity Board and these 3 power plants expired in April last year. When permission was sought to renew these agreements, the 3-member co-cabinet committee that was appointed to look into the matter recommended to renew the agreement with the 3 power plants for a period of only 6 months. None of the agreements that were reached with these 3 private power plants in question has been permitted by the Public Utilities Commission and has been pronounced as illegal by the Auditor General and the COPE. Questions were raised regarding the proposal that was put forward to the Cabinet to renew these agreements at the Cabinet media briefing this morning.
We have agreed on a policy level if there is a need for emergency power purchasing. But one condition that these private power plants have outlined is that the agreement must be reached for 3 years. The government is not in agreement with that. The President also informed the Minister to reach an agreement to adhere to the authorized time frames and purchase power only when it is necessary. The issue we have at hand is the shortage of diesel. There is no issue pertaining to power. We have more than enough generators. The problem is we do not have sufficient fuel. If we have fuel, there won't be a need to purchase power as well.
Meanwhile, the Cabinet granted approval to purchase 450,000 barrels of crude oil for the Sapugaskanda oil refinery from the Terra Navis Group in Cyprus for a loan scheme of 180 days. The Terra Navis Group, based in Cyprus, has been selected without calling for any proposals, and the proposal put forward by this foreign company has been evaluated by a special standing procurement committee. Also, Cabinet approval was granted to obtain a supply of 40,000 metric tons of diesel and petrol from the Indian Oil Company yesterday. What is the true phase of the power crisis that Sri Lanka is facing at the moment? If the obstacle at hand is fuel, do these private power plants have sufficient stocks of fuel to generate power? Or are we witnessing a master plan in motion to loot public funds by these emergency power purchases in the guise of a diesel shortage?